what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through.
To my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whichever one I haven't said. I keep forgetting which one I forget to say here. Big up to Arsenal news. We're also doing match reaction, so it's an Arsenal news special tonight. We're combining the two because none of us had time to do the match reaction, so we're trying to do the two in one. We've got the wonderful James. How are we doing?
Hello, sir. Been a while.
It has been a while.
It has. Yeah, no, I'm very good. How are you?
Yeah. I'll be glad when the transfer window's over, if I'm honest. I'm just a little bit stressed with it all now. Big up to Tony. He's already in the house. Good evening, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Luke's here as well. Evening, Luke. Yes, the teams are in. That kicks off at 7. Oh, it's actually kicked off now. So yeah, the game is underway. Nwaneri's playing. We've got Koji Dewberry playing. Sousa's playing. Waters is playing. So it's a good lineup, if I'm honest. We'll wait and see how they get on against Swindon. Greetings from scorching hot Charlotte, North Carolina. It's all right for some. It's warm, but it's not. It keeps raining whenever it feels like it here at the moment. It's annoying. Do you think Fulham or Sheffield United could get a result against Man City without Pep? Yes, because Pep has had a surgery on his back, so he's going to be out for a few weeks. Does it make them weaker? I don't think so. Does it make it weaker? They're already set up, aren't they? They're kind of like
With all due respect, it's Fulham and Sheffield United. Sheffield United are a newly promoted team, and Fulham are Fulham. Where they're at the moment, they're not in a good place, it seems so. Especially losing Mitrovic, yeah.
Well, exactly. Losing Mitrovic and bringing in Jimenez is a bit of a strange choice, if I'm honest.
It's all right. I think I know of a £50 million striker that might be able to help, but
we'll get on to him in a bit. Just in case he's listening, evening, my boy. Evening to Kai. I know exactly who you're on about, Tony. Evening to Kai, if he is. Oh, I'm not putting that up, Tony. Yeah. Not on your Nelly.
Great combination, Tony.
Yeah, not happening. Not happening. That comment is never being shown. Right, so let's get on to the news because we've got to have to do news and match reaction straight after. So let's get on to the first talking point. It is buckle up, drink only decaf, and enjoy the ride. The window finishes a week on Friday, and I guarantee you should just buckle up, only drink decaf because you don't want any caffeine right now. I guarantee it. And just enjoy the ride because it's going to be a bit manic. I will be honest. There's a lot of teams planning on loads of different things. A lot of journos haven't got a clue what's actually going on because a lot of it is secret. It's funny that, isn't it? James, what are you expecting for the next few days with Arsenal?
A lot of outgoings. That's what I'm expecting. I'm not, chasing too much that we're going to sign anyone else, but we have a very, very big squad, so the main focus is outgoing, so that's why I expect them to be heating up soon.
Yeah, the reason I put Lokonga on there because he is the backup player to, I can't think of the Lille midfielder that Brighton are trying to sign. Is it Balbea or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know who he is, but I am.
Yeah, he's from Lille. If that falls through, then Lokonga is their next choice. I think it will just be a loan, if I'm honest. I don't think it's going to be a signing. We're going to have to talk about Tavares. Tavares, there is a couple of teams interested in him. Don't worry about the fall through of Forest. It's because someone else was interested. That's why it fell through. Tony's in Dream World. I've just seen your comment, Tony. Tony's on one tonight.
He is indeed.
So Tavares is one. Obviously, Balogun is a huge one. Will bring in significant cash. Chelsea have been quoted more now than what Monaco have for obvious reasons. So that's good. But it wouldn't surprise me if Chelsea actually paid the money that Arsenal have requested as well, because they're Chelsea. And the other player that I wanted to talk about was obviously Tierney. Tierney, I'm going to guess he's going to go. I can't see him staying. He's nowhere near the squad. I think he's going to be a loan again. And that's going to annoy me because if we keep loaning out these players, we're getting no money in. And that's not good enough. I'm not going to be happy. Look, I said on the other stream, I think Friday, I'm going to wait till the window's closed before I have my mini rant because you never know what could happen. But at the moment, I'm not happy. James, how happy are you with the window as it's gone?
Yeah, incoming's very happy. I don't think anyone can complain. And if you do complain, then I feel like you're just a bit greedy at this point. Outgoings leaving a bit to be desired at the moment. We do need to, sort it out. We do have the assets, and we do have assets that are worth every penny in the footballing world. So we'll see. As you said, there's time, and with a week to go, it's gonna heat up, and I do fully expect us to get a minimum a minimum of probably, I'd say, 4 players.
Yeah, that's what I've got on the thumbnail. I put 4 sales because I believe there'll be 4 sales. I think there'll be some loans out as well, which may not impress us that much because they are probably players of value that will be loaned out. I think loans at the moment for Arsenal aren't good enough because we can't then reinvest the money, which we do need to reinvest. We need to, for me, I know James is slightly disagreement, but I feel we need at least 2 more players right now. Will they come in? It depends on the outgoings. Like I've said, unfortunately, for many weeks now, we won't spend until we sell. If we don't sell, we don't buy. It's as simple as that. It's a little bit sad. Has someone kidnapped Cedric? There is literally zero talk about Cedric. It's a shame. But I got a feeling his contract will just be terminated, if I'm honest. What's his Pepe staying nonsense? I don't know who said that he's staying. I know there's a video of him on Instagram, but I think if you look at the video on Instagram, no one's there. He didn't get to see Winnie, which says to me everything. If you don't get to meet Winnie, you ain't important. Winnie is the most important person at Arsenal Football Club. 80 million for Holding, not on your Nelly. Just not happening. 70 million and £1 for Balogun. I think we'll be lucky to get 40 million. It'll be 40 million and add-ons, I reckon. If we didn't have injuries, the window would be a 7 or 8. I'm not going to rate it just yet. I'm going to wait. Look, I'm just going to allow these extra few days to see what happens before I have a rant or big it up. I don't know. Tony's saying Arsenal unders are 1 down already at Swindon. Well, to be fair, the Swindon did score 5 against Wrexham at the weekend, so they're not a bad team. Balogun and Pepe posting empty dressing rooms. It's a shame, isn't it? No love there at all. Regarding incomings, who would you want to see, if anybody?
Well, I think we're at a level now where all of the incomings I want are going to cost a lot of money.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't want any stop gaps. I don't want anyone that's not up to the level. So we're in a position now, I think, where we either go for the world-class players that can improve on this team, and there's only a few players that I think position-wise can be upgraded.
Yeah.
Or that I'd at least want to upgrade. Or you go the other route as you go young, really, really highly talented, and by young, I'm talking 16 to 18, and bulk up what is already an incredibly talented pool in our academy.
Yeah.
So I don't see us bringing in that much, to be honest. Position wise, I think we could use, I'll be like long term, is another centre back, a right back, another midfielder, and a striker. But I don't see the players that I want being available, especially this late in the window. So it's very, very, very difficult for me to envision anyone but maybe an Ivan Fresneda.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but that's where I'm at with this team now, where we're at a certain level where we can't just be bringing and we can't be bringing in anyone. It needs to be, of the right talent.
Okay. Fresneda is obviously a big option. I think Barcelona are struggling because I think they have pretty much sorted someone now. I can't remember who they've just signed. Thank you very much. Couldn't remember who it was. Yeah. But yeah, Fresneda is available, but Chelsea are now looking at him as well. But the main one that I think everyone said for the whole summer is, and I don't want to say the word backup, but technically it is a backup to Saka. Who's going to cover Saka if he gets injured?
I think we have enough cover. I think Nelson can play there, Jesus can play there, and I think Jesus is as a better level on the right wing than Mohamed Kudus is. And if he's going to cost upwards of 45 million, I don't think it's the right move.
Okay, so you're happy with Jesus and Eddie up front?
We have enough cover up front.
Okay.
Havertz, Trossard. We have enough as of right now, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Short term, that is, by the way, not long term, but for a season.
Yeah, well, we're going to get on to next summer very shortly because there is a talking point on that. Tony's saying Kudu. Possible, who knows? But anything's possible. I've been told to keep an eye out for Matoma as well. There's Matoma's possibility he could be leaving as well, so we could put a cheeky bid in for him. Who knows? We need some Saudi mates like Bowley. Bowley hasn't got any mates in Saudi, I promise you that. And to be fair, Saudi haven't given Chelsea that much money. Not as much as what other people think. Saudi have been interested in one of our players that have put a bid in, has been rejected. And I expect another one within the next few days, and I'm expecting that to be rejected as well. But you never know. Money talks, and the players' entourage can talk as well. So we've got to wait and see. But at the moment, I can't see it happening. Ajax have rejected second bid from West Ham for Kudu. Have they? I haven't heard that. Okay. Big up to Sony because I haven't got a clue. What will that new right back do when Timber comes back, though, James? Okay.
Proposing a question to me wanting a specialised right back. Let's be real though. In our defence at the moment, I think we have 3 players that have a set position. I think that's Zinchenko, I think that's Gabriel, and I think that's William Saliba. Outside of those 3, we have defenders that can play pretty much anywhere. Right? So for me, I'd like us to sign a specialized right back because I think that is the one position where we're missing a trick. And I say that with respect to Thomas Partey being, he's playing as a right back. He's doing an okay job. We're doing it to replicate the dynamics of what we'd have as a left back via Zinchenko inverting, right? So we're doing the exact same thing, but just on the opposite side. So that's why I say a Fresneda or somebody else that can overlap, underlap, do what Ben White does, defend well, and come inside. And I know that I'm setting the bar very high for a fullback with that because there's very few that can. That's why I say I want a specialised right back. And look, with the amount of minutes we'll be having in competitions, there's going to be plenty of minutes. You can still play 30 games and probably average 3,000 minutes across the comps.
Yeah.
And still get enough game time. So when you say what will Timber do, Timber will do what he's done: play left back, play right back, play centre back, maybe play DM. that's why Timber was such a great buy, because he's versatile across all three, and the level doesn't drop off. So that's why I'm not worried about a Yuri and Timber. If we're talking more Tomiyasu, that's a different question. But if we're talking just about Timber, I'm not worried, because I feel like he's just at the level where you can play anywhere.
Fair enough. Chelsea are looking at me, Tony. Oh,
Yeah.
let's have a good bid for you, Tony. It's 1-1 now. Yeah, Lena Sousa's got the equaliser. Trusting Eddie. Look, I have no issues with anyone trusting him. For me, he's just a drop-off. He hasn't convinced me that he's not a drop-off at the moment. That's just my opinion, and I'm welcome to my opinion. You're welcome to yours. James, are you a City sport? I guarantee he's not.
Yes, in secret. If I lift up my top now, it'll be a City shirt.
Yeah. To be honest, if it's just been reported on Sky Sports, I've got a feeling that happened about 5 or 6 days ago, if I'm honest, because I haven't heard there was another bid from Ajax, not from the last one I heard. Last year we dropped off because people covering positions that weren't good enough. Yeah,
and that's why I think there's a conversation to be had around Tomiyasu, but we don't need to have that conversation now. I just feel like that's why a specialized right back fits the team more than a hybrid defender. I know King said he wanted a right back, just right centre back, someone that can do that. I don't know, like a Simican or something. I feel like we have too many of them.
Yeah.
I don't know if you agree, but that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah. Look, I would love Fresender. I think it'd be brilliant. I do question why no one has gone full hog on him, because it's cheap. He's
it's
cheap
like
as
15
chips.
million quid, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nothing. And I know that's saying stupid because it's a lot of money in the world, but in football world, that is nothing. Why isn't anyone just going full hog on him? What's the problem?
Don't know. I can't think of a reason
I know,
why.
but there's got to be something in there. There's got to be something, because
maybe.
Because for someone with a release clause as well, which can trigger just like that, for such a small fee, it concerns me. There's something that I don't know about, and maybe there is something I don't know about.
Yeah, maybe we're not privy to it.
Yeah, maybe. Right, let's move on to the next talking point. Next summer's plans being drawn up. So we've got plan A, plan B, but plus me, there's loads of plans. But the main target, and I've said it on previous shows, is a main number. I don't want to say number 9 because we don't really have a number 9, but main striker.
We'll get to a number 9, I think, eventually next year.
But it's going to be a striker. It's going to be a proper striker. One that James will be very happy with, I'm sure. But it's going to be a big spend. And it's going to... The other thing that I'm slightly concerned about is Thomas Partey's only got 2 years left on his deal. Tommy's only got 2 years on his deal, because you just mentioned Tommy. I personally would have accepted the bid from Inter if it came in, just to get Red, because it's the best time to get him, like the actual full V on it. I think there's a couple of bits and bobs we still need to do next summer, as well as the big striker. But for you, who is your striker?
There's two. There's two that I think are good enough right now, of his speaking. Maybe another player is going to break out this summer that changes my mind. But available on the market right now, obviously the big one is Victor Osimhen, who I'd love. I think he'd be a fantastic Eddie Nketiah replacement, and I say that in the sense of how he runs the channels, but he's also very tall and he's clinical. So that's an immediate upgrade on him. Or if you're wanting a different style, is Evan Ferguson. It is. I don't understand why you're saying this. I don't understand why you're saying this. I mean, he is, in my opinion, the most complete under 24 striker that I can name. When I say complete, I mean Harry Kane complete. You're going to not like me for saying this name. I'm talking Robin Van Persie complete. Someone of that can do everything, has pace, can pass, can score goals, is good in the air. He's got the whole package, and he reminds me so much of Harry Kane. And if there's a chance that he even becomes slightly as good as Harry Kane is, and we can get him, we should. So That's where I'm at with it. Tony, he
So,
doesn't rate
Tony's
my
losing
scout.
it.
He doesn't rate my scouting, but my track record speaks for itself. So
I'm pretty. Well, are you sure about that? Because
yes.
I know there's something about DLC.
Oh yeah, but again, that's been proven right, but just minus injuries.
Right, let's get back into what he's been saying off here. Ferguson needs to perform 100 million. Is a joke.
I agree. I agree. I'm not saying the price tag is correct. I'm saying there's two players as of right now that I think take us and elevate us. And to say that about an 18/19-year-old kid should tell you how talented he is.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, it is 3 times his market value at the moment, but
Yep.
that could increase drastically over the season if he smashes it. Look, I do like the player. Do I think I'd want him now? No. Do I want him next summer? I don't know. Could be. If he has a cracking season, then yeah, I'll be quite happy.
I wanted him desperately before he signed his new deal at Brighton, but because he signed his new 5 or 6 year deal with Brighton, his price, as you have said, tripled his market rate.
Yeah. His market value is around 33 million at the moment, so 100 million is 3 times the amount. But it is what it is. There aren't many CFs though. Silver one. That's why Brighton can demand 100 million. Look, Brighton are very clever. Very clever. There's nothing wrong with what they ask for. And if you don't want it, you don't pay it. Simple as that.
Yep.
So if he's worth 100 million, Tony's got to be worth 150 million, according to Tony. I'm not the greatest fan of Tony, if I'm honest. That's just me.
Yeah.
Out of the two players that James has mentioned, everyone knows I want Oshiman. I love him.
I'll just be clear right now, right? If Evan Ferguson is going to cost 100 million or Victor Osimhen is going to cost 150 million, I go for Osimhen every single day of the week. But if Evan Ferguson is like 70 to 80 million, then my mind changes. It's just there's so many things to contextualize our decision of who we go for and the direction we want to play. Because if we're continuing the way we want to continue, then you go and get Victor Osimhen. But if you want to change it and go to where I think we want to go, you go for an Evan Ferguson type player.
Yeah. Tony's coming to you. Yeah. I'm with James on Evan Ferguson, and Balogun will do better than Ferguson.
Maybe
Balogun's a very different player.
He is, and I think short term because he'll get more minutes.
Yeah.
But long term and career wise, I think Ferguson's going to do a lot better.
Okay. Big up to DWTT. Hope you're doing well. Right, let's move on to the next talking point. Unfortunately, Taya Goldie, our young midfielder, has had another ACL and she has only just recovered from one. So she is out again. And this was just in warm-up for a pre-season. I'm honestly fed up of these ACLs at Arsenal Football Club. This is our 5th ACL now. 5th. I hate it. I know that there is a study being done to try and work out if there's something that someone's missing somewhere along the line. Because for Arsenal women, it is ridiculous how many we've had. Obviously, we've had one with Timber as well. But Arsenal women's, I think this is our fourth now. We've had Miedemeier, Little. We've had Mead. Goldie, this is her second one. She's just come back from the previous ACL, and she's done it again. It's mad, isn't it? I just hate it. It upsets me because she's only young. I think she's 19. She's the youngest of our first teamers as well.
Plus it's really hard to come back from a double ACL tear. Is it the same leg?
I believe so. Yeah.
It's not good. I think the only one that I can think of at the top of my head that's come back from a double ACL, double ACL tear, I think is Zaniolo.
Okay, yeah.
Who's moved to? I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he tore his ACL twice, and now he's doing okay.
Right. Tony is saying Eddie is better than Ballo. Not for me. I like Ballo. If you want to put me in team, I am in team Ballo, but I don't. I just there's more to Balogun's game than Eddie's. That's just my opinion. What would you say between the two? Eddie or Ballet?
For us, Eddie, simply because he's willing to accept this role. If we're talking,
Okay, who's the better player?
Right now, I'd still say Eddie.
Okay.
I don't know. I've seen Eddie do it in the Prem, which is a
Yeah.
much harder league, and forward wise, I take a lot with a pinch of salt from coming out of France, even though he did have a good season.
Yeah, well, a lot of people forget that 7 of those goals he scored were penalties.
Yeah.
So it kind of drastically reduces the amount of goals he actually scored. Despite his issues and attitude, Tony would score goals for us. Look, he does like Arsenal. He has said it in his latest interview. He is a Liverpool fan, though. I don't see it happening. I just don't. It makes no sense for us at the moment. Big up to Brenny, evening gents, and to those in the chat. What is all the ACL issues? I've never heard of it before. I know. At Arsenal, it's a constant thing. It's going to be a case of who gets the ACL next, to be honest. I hope no more, but we've got to go on to another injury very shortly as well, which hurts me the most, but it is what it is. Let's move on to him now. Please, no, not my Biref. So Biref came on against St Mirren at the weekend, came on the 67th minute, then went off injured with a knee problem, and he's now out for 3 months. After the loan spell he had in Eredivisie last season, that was injury plagued, he's now back out for 3 months this season, which is annoying because he made a great debut, assist and a goal. I'm so fed up. I'm really, honestly, this guy, if he could keep fit, I could see him being in the Arsenal team in 2 years because I think he's that good. I just how much obviously I don't know how much you know about Mika, but obviously I'm the biggest fan ever. But how much have you seen of him? What do you think he's capable
I mean, I watched
of
the
bringing?
first game he played. He didn't play a lot in the Eredivisie last season. He didn't get a lot of game time. So I watched the game. I say the game. I watched the extended highlights, which were about 20 minutes. So for me to watch a Scottish game should tell you all you need to know. No disrespect, of course. But he had changed the game when he came on.
Yeah.
Changed the game. And we did a show summarizing our youth a while ago.
Yeah.
And me and you were both excited about him because he's just a different style of striker compared to what we have. You know, he's powerful, he's big, quick, good ball striking, and now he's just injured. So I hope he doesn't turn into like another John Jules situation.
Yeah.
Where John Jules was seen as a very talented striker 3-4 years ago, and he's just had repetitive injuries.
Yeah.
So I just don't hope he turns into that.
Tony say, well, it depends how much we trust the Motherwell's medical team, to be honest. If not, he'll come back to us, do the physio, and then we'll send him back to Motherwell. So technically, he'd still be Motherwell's player, but he can come back to us to have physio treatment if needed. So we'll wait and see. But I'm going to guess he'll be fine in Motherwell. But we'll move on. Oh, actually, I need to talk about the other loan players as well. So Hubert kept a clean sheet at the weekend against Western-super-Mare. Charlie Patino granted his first start for Swansea against against Coventry. Sorry. And then we had Marquinhos, who his Nantes team lost once again against Lille. Then we got Bandera, just cannot get on the winning side. His Colchester lost at the weekend. Billy Vigar not doing so well either at Eastbourne. His team have lost 2 consecutive games now. And Kurjan, is it Kurjan? How do you say that? The Romanian? It's Kurjan,
Crijan.
Yeah, him. Kurjan, I'm pretty...
Something like that, I don't know.
Yeah, but he didn't even come off the bench for Rapid Bucharest. So, yeah. Currently, our loans aren't looking great, if I'm honest. I'll be honest. Please smash the likes if you think Bobby and watch. I didn't see that bit.
Watch the amount of dislikes just come up now.
Yeah, I didn't even see that bit. But yes, please do smash the likes if you can. That'd be really do it. I can't. The silver one.
Hey, I'm 24. I'm 24. It's fine. I'm in the prime way. Prime age is fine.
Oh, crikey. Right, let's move on to heartbreak for Arsenal ladies down under. Now, obviously, it's all finished now. Congratulations to Spain. Obviously, the England ladies lost 1-0 to Spain in the final. The Swedish ladies beat Australia 2-0 to get the bronze. So big up to Blackstenius, Hurtig, and Ilstedt, and commiserations to Ford and Catley. But yeah, overall, the World Cup was brilliant. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the final. But to be fair, Spain deserved to win the final. They were the better team. England didn't really have much to answer to them, to be honest. They were just really good. And the worrying thing is that's not even their strongest lineup because a lot of the big players hadn't actually turned up to the World Cup. So there's a lot of off-the-field issues. But yeah, Spain looked good. But we move on to the Euros next. And I'm sure we'll be challenging for that. And also, Arsenal ladies should be announcing Codina very, very soon. So keep an eye on that because we have come to an agreement now. So we should be announcing that signing very soon. She is a very good centre-back. Obviously played for Spain in the final as well. Why was Russo taken off? Was she injured? No, it was a tactical change, Tony. Serena's one of those very brave coaches where she'll just change as soon as she feels she has to. So big up to Serena for doing that. And Alicia Russo. I personally would have left her on, personally, but that's just me. But yeah, I can't wait to see Alicia Russo in an Arsenal shirt, as Tony says there. And Ilstedt is, for me, one of the best centre-backs in the whole World Cup. The fact that I think she scored about 3 or 4 goals as well for a centre-back is amazing. And they were brilliant. They were absolutely incredible. I love the World Cup. It's very good. Right, let's move on to the match review. Obviously, Crystal Palace versus Arsenal last night. It was a 1-0 win to the Arsenal. Obviously, Tomiyasu got sent off in the, I think it's the 59th minute after 2 yellow cards. Ridiculous. Or was it 69th minute?
I think it was the 60, late 60s.
Yeah, 69th minute because the substitution came the 70th. Right, that's what it was. Sorry, I got mixed up. So the 69th minute after 2 stupid yellow cards from the referee. Not for Tommy. There was no yellow cards for me at all. Let's talk about the yellow cards incidents. Do you think Tommy deserved any of them?
No. They just weren't.
It was madness, wasn't it? Surely they can appeal. You can't appeal that type of decision. A straight red you can appeal, and they've done that with McAllister at the weekend. That has been accepted, so he has no longer got a red card. But the time wasting stuff, and obviously we didn't get yellow cards for Gabriel and Odegaard brandishing a yellow, which you're meant to. So David Coote basically just hadn't got a clue last night. That's my opinion on David Coote. What about you?
It was just, I don't know, it's just ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just, and it ruined the game because we were on top.
No, it did. It did. Well, obviously, we'll talk about that, but it's just there's no need for it. Like, all right, fine. If you're gonna book anyone for time wasting, it should have been Havertz. Havertz had the ball for 17 seconds, 15
seconds. Yeah, we've counted it 15 seconds.
You know,
Tommy had it for 8.
Like it's a joke. It's a joke. The refereeing again is going to let this Prem season down, not just for Arsenal, but across the board. Yeah. It's going to let it down. And I don't understand how you can be one of 2 countries in world football that I'm aware of that have professional paid referees and be shit. Excuse my French, but I don't get it. I don't get it.
No. Big up to Temi Ola. Hope you're doing well. The refs are clueless. They literally do not know what they're doing. They do, but I honestly just think the pressure gets to them. And this is what I've said to a lot of people that want to complain. It's fine to complain about them, but if I was you, I'd actually go down the route to become a ref because there's not enough to get these silly people out. That's the problem. We're dipping the Premier League pool of refs are being dipped out of the EFL, and the EFL refs are rubbish.
We need to do some serious investing either through the Prem and the FA, or we need to get global and bring in the best refs from football, just in general.
Yeah. Well, look, the Premier League and the FA pay for the PMGL, so the money is there, and they pay pretty well. To be fair,
they do.
I don't think that they pay
I'm
well.
pretty sure. Don't some of the refs earn 6 figures, or am I crazy?
You are crazy. Yeah,
I swear Mark Clanberg used to earn like 6 figures.
They have a base rate,
Okay.
and then they get whatever game bonus. So it's like a pay as you play type thing. So I suppose over the whole course of the season, depending how many games they ref, they could earn close to 6 figures, I suppose. But I'd be surprised if anyone does now. I'd have to look up the actual breakdown of it, and I'll let you know. But I don't think anyone gets close to that now. It's annoying because we had no red cards last season. True, but it is what it is. We can move on without Tommy for a game. It's only a game, so it's not too bad. I think Arteta is right. There will be 11 versus 9 as so on. What does that mean? I think Arteta will be there. Be 11 versus 9. I don't know what that means.
I think he means 12 versus 10.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay. Got you.
Maybe the maths is off, but yeah, the ref being one of them.
Okay. That ref last night couldn't wait to send Tommy Aston. Coot is very close to what it sounds like, his surname. He is a bit of a plonk, if I'm honest. It's not all the refs, it's the idiots above like Webb. Howard is doing his utmost. And why I would say that is because I know his wife, and his wife has improved the WSL refs, and they are immaculate, if I'm honest. And Howard Webb improved the MLS refs. They were immaculate. Howard is now having to control what I can only describe as a bunch of muppets. And you can't. The thing is, Howard just can't go, right, you're sacked, you're sacked, you're sacked, you're sacked, you're sacked, because there's no refs to replace any of them.
Didn't they rehire the guy that effed up the VAR decision on Lee Mason or whatever his name is?
Yeah, Lee
Mason
Mason is back as a trainer. He won't be reffing. He's back as a trainer.
That's the most ironic thing you could have said. He's not back as a Prem ref. He's back training the new people to become Prem referees, and he's not allowed to work as a Prem ref.
This is the problem. This is the problem because there is no one else to do it. It's always the same names. If you notice, it's always the same names because there is nobody else. Rob Jones, who everyone knows how much I hate Rob Jones, one of the newest refs that have joined the Premier League. I hated him in the EFL, but unfortunately, he was the better of the refs in the EFL, so he was bound to be promoted. But he's horrible. He's an absolute arrogant plonker, and he's a terrible ref. But he's the best of the rest in the EFL. It's people who want to become refs, please do, because we need some new blood. I would say the National League refs are slightly better, and that's saying a lot. The PMGL bringing back Lee Mason to train the refs show that they aren't a serious organisation. The PMGL is a serious organisation, but as I said, there is no pool for them to dip new talent out of. It's the same old names. It's the same ones from the EFL. It's the same ones that have worked in the Premier League before. There is no new talent. No one wants to become a ref. And you can kind of see why, because the amount of hatred that is aimed towards a ref, and it has been like that since the 80s. When I was a kid, the ref was the most talked about person most of the time. The best last referee I saw was Uriah Rennie, other than the Italian dude, but Uriah Rennie in the Premier League was the best one I ever saw. David Coote is the word. He's an absolute plonk. That ref has been pictured in Man United. Not surprised by the time that has nothing to do with it. I promise you, there is never any bias. A lot of people can be very much like me. They can be non-biased, and I promise there is no refs that are biased at all. Because if it ever was found to be true, they would be sacked and fined, and probably worse than that as well. Since he came in, we've had more mistakes made. I'm guessing you talk about Howard Webb. The laws have changed, and the problem is with these older referees, they don't like change. They don't, and they can't cope with it either. it's like go back to going back to school. They have to learn all these new laws again. I think that we should have taken some stuff from FIFA that they've come up with. I would have taken some of them on straight away. So yeah, bring back Dean. David Ellie was the last best ref. No, I hated him. We've had at least 60,000 refs at the Emirates. We ain't that short. I know what you mean there. Right, let's talk about the game. So it was 1-0 to the Arsenal. Odegaard penalty in, I can't remember what minute it was, 54th minute. First half was pretty good, I thought. What about you? What did you think of the first half?
Yeah, we were really good. Really, really, really good. I'm very happy with the direction we're going in. I'll be real. I've said it on a few streams that you've been on, and we were in agreement. I don't want to watch a tennis match, even though it's very exciting. And by that, I mean a game being open and back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah.
Even though it's electric and it's fun to watch, and when we score and break down teams, it's exciting. I'm much more of a pragmatist, and I would much rather us win 2-0 every week instead of a 4-2, because I think that's the direction you need to go in to really win major honours. And it's nice to see that we are. I think statistically in the first half of the Forest game and the first half of the Palace game, we had 80+ possession. I think I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's accurate. We had 80% of the possession for 45 minutes of the first half. So I'm very, very happy that we're going this way.
Yeah.
And just from that standpoint, let's be real, Palace didn't have a sniff in the first half. They couldn't get in, couldn't create anything. And we should have been at least 1-0 up half-time, probably 2. We should have been 2-0 up. I forgot about the Martinelli chance he had the first 2 minutes of the game. So yeah, I'm very encouraged by what I've seen so far.
Tony said trolled the first half. Can't remember Palace having a chance. They didn't have anything that was notable. That's for certain. And quickly cover Luke's comment here. Howard Webb's answer to deal with bad officiating seems to be given yellow or red cards to anyone who dares criticise their daft decisions. The reason is we're trying to, the PMGO are trying to improve the players' behaviour. Because there is a lot of back chat, and the problem is, and a lot of people have said this, they want to hear what is said. Now, for that to happen, the players need to behave, and I promise you, the stuff that the players say to the ref cannot be played over video call. It just cannot be. You'd have to have a over 18 audience, because the words that come out of those players' mouths towards the referees is disgusting. And this is the only way that Howard can think of trying to get them to behave a little bit better. So this is the first part of it. Hope it works, because honestly, it's disgusting what some of the players say to the ref. It is disgusting. I just love we got a clean sheet. Yeah, we did, thankfully. Does anyone feel... Oh, okay, I'll come back to that in a minute. So I'll take that off for a minute. But I'm going to get into the actual team that Mikel actually picked. So it was Ramsdale in goal, Partey, White, Saliba, Tomiyasu, Rice, Havertz, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, and Eddie. James, what did you think of the lineup when we announced it?
Yeah, I was content with it. Happy with it. I mean, it's the same lineup as the Forest game minus Timber. So, yeah, I don't have any complaints with it. How about you?
I don't like Partey at right back.
A lot of people say this.
I can't stand it, mate. And he showed, obviously, I'm a right back, so I know how you need to be. And he doesn't look comfortable. And I don't blame him. You know, he's defensive midfielder. Mm-hmm. I just don't like it. I don't like it. Look, I would have gone with a different lineup yesterday. I wouldn't. If he just necessarily wants to play Partey, then drop Havertz, put Partey back in midfield, and then put Gabriel where he should be. Job done, sorted for me. That's just me. I just can't stand Partey at right back. I don't want to see it.
We'll speak more about Gabriel later on because it ties in with Partey. But I didn't think Partey was that bad. I thought Partey played really well. I'll be honest. I thought he had a very, very good game.
First 5 minutes, he was dodgy. I was slightly worried because his passing was a bit
I
off
think he
and his
made
control was
one
off.
skewed pass, but outside of that, I thought he had a really good game.
Yeah.
He looked uncomfortable. I think from what you said, I think it's more of a fitness thing, less fitness and familiarity thing, less so of an ability thing.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. Well, same with Havertz, right?
Yeah.
If I don't know if you want to. This kind of ties in with a question that was asked prior regarding Havertz.
Yeah.
I don't think it's jeopardizing our season. I think
No.
this is an evolution of a team that's going to reach higher heights than last season. And if it's growing pain, then it's worth it. Now, we may come back to this stream in 6 months' time and I may look like an idiot, and you can tell me I look like an idiot. But based off of the 22nd of August, 2023, I think it's a necessary evolution of this team to have more, strings to their bow. In the sense of, I think you'll agree with it. Even though we got 50 points after 19 games the first half of the season last season, how predictable did we become to other teams to the point where teams that we were beating easily in the first half of the season, we really struggled against in the second half of the season. We got figured out.
Yeah.
So I know people don't like Partey as a right back, and I can understand it because maybe we're taking away where he's been playing, and we're used to him playing as a holding midfielder and him being excellent. And maybe you're looking at it from an injury perspective, worried about if he's coming up against a pacey winger that he's going to snap his hamstring. Touch wood that he doesn't.
Yeah.
But I think it's just an evolution of the team, and you'll see it. I don't know if you watch much of Havertz, is like you were just watching Havertz, not the game, just the player.
Yeah.
He has come on leaps and bounds off the ball, and maybe I'm gonna get a lot of stick for we paid 65 million for someone that's good off the ball and out of possession, right? He is covering so much better defensively. The first few games of preseason, he looked lost. He didn't know where he was. But you've seen when somebody's coming out of position, he's covering them. He's dropping into other positions that Xhaka used to do. I'm very, very encouraged that we'll see in the future this season his goal and assist numbers to go up. I don't know if you think he's going to get a decent goal and assist return this season, but I think he can get similar to what Xhaka achieved last season.
I think Havertz will be absolutely fine. I've got no issues with him. I'm not one of the ones that go and questioning being picked because I love him. I have no issues. But then I had the same love with Xhaka when he first came in, so I could be wrong. Look, to be fair to Havertz, he is playing in the position that he should be very comfortable in. Xhaka was a different situation. Look, I feel that there's two players in our starting 11, this starting 11, that are always going to be picked on, and they were picked on yesterday, Eddie and Kai. Could have guaranteed it before the game kicked off because there's a lot of love or hate towards Eddie, and the same with Kai because of the amount of money we spent. He's from Chelsea. Ignore the Chelsea thing. He's a very talented German international. He plays for Germany. He was very highly thought of at Leverkusen. Absolutely smashed it over there. And look, I think he'll do absolutely fine. I don't expect to see him in every single game, if I'm honest, because I don't think certain games will fit the system. My question to James, and it's going to be an interesting one because everyone knows this is not an agenda, right? This has got nothing to do with me wanting Partey out the club, right? But if you want to do this inverted role at right back, why aren't we doing it with Ben White due to the fact he can play DM as well?
I don't think it's the right type of player to invert. You're gonna laugh at me for suggesting this. I think a particular type of body shape enhances your ability to play inverted. Call me crazy. Look at how slim and nimble Zinchenko is, right?
Yeah.
Partey, he's taller. He's not exactly broad. He's not exactly built really tall,
Yeah.
muscle wise.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel he fits it easier because it's mainly to do with press resistance.
Mm.
You try and play Ben White in a central area as an anchor, as a sole anchor. Yes, he can do it. But if you're talking someone that's going to come and press him, how press resistant is Zinchenko? Incredibly. How
Yeah.
press resistant is Thomas Partey? He could find out his way out of a locked telephone box, right?
Yeah.
You've seen it so many times, and I'm comfortable with Ben White potentially doing it if we were to play a double pivot. If he was to start as a 6 alongside Partey or Declan Rice, yes. I just don't think he has the right body type and press resistance for it. And people may laugh at that. I just feel like there is something in it and a method to my madness. But
no, so I just wanted to, because I just think obviously because Ben can actually play right back and can play DM, so it just makes more sense to me. Why can't he just do that? Because I think he could do it fine. Everyone knows that I watch so much league different football, so I knew that he was going to be a good right back at Leeds. So I had no issues with him at right back. But the DM, he's done that as well. And I just think maybe he could do it. But maybe you're right with Partey. And it's not an agenda about Partey leaving, even though this is the best time to get any good value for him. But yeah, we'll just move on from that. Right. Tony's saying we won. I'm happy. Not Partey at right back, though. Big up to Geeks. Hope you're doing well, Geeks. Not my boy, obviously. I was talking about Havertz. I'm not saying drop Havertz because I don't like Havertz. I love Havertz, but I don't expect to see him in every single lineup. I think it'll be slightly different. When we go with Raya in goal at some point, we will. I expect to see Havertz more forward position. Do you think that as well? Havertz will be in a more forward position when Raya plays?
Yeah, long term for me, I see Havertz as a forward.
Yeah.
I always have. But with how he plays, he's almost acting as like a second striker.
Yeah.
Crashing the box late. So, yeah, I see him long term as a forward. That would be my answer to your question.
Yeah, fair enough. White at right back and Partey at centre back stepping into midfield would make more sense to Geeks. What do you think of that? What Geeks are saying there?
I don't know. It's like the reverse of the John Stones, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily want Partey as a centre back. I feel like he's better covering the back four.
What about Declan?
I'm happy with Declan to be a centre back.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy with Declan to start as a centre back.
So that's possibly a way that we could do this, where maybe the fans will be slightly happier about it as well.
Yeah, well, I think it's more. Again, I mentioned the John Stones role.
Yeah.
Declan Rice is a more than capable defender, and he's played centre back a lot.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's just another way of creating an overloaded midfield, and there's different ways to do it. If you don't want to do the inverted, do the John Stones role. Or if you want to do it, you can do it how if you want to keep Kieran Tierney, for example, play like a Trossard as a left mid, get him to come inside and get Tierney to go wide, and you still have the width. There's different ways to do it. It's just the preference of how you want to do it.
Yeah. Well, obviously, we're going to do the preview for the Fulham game at the end of the week. So it's going to be interesting to see what people choose, especially James. Yeah. I will be keeping an eye on James's one mainly because I got a feeling that people will go for a slightly different formation when we play. Well, not different formation, different lineup against Fulham. Geek saying hello to Tony. I hate Partey at right back. I'm with you, Tony, on this one. But he was excellent last night. I wouldn't say he was excellent. He wasn't my number one player, if I'm honest.
No, but he was good.
He was decent enough, but I just can't. I don't want to start.
That's Bobby's way of telling someone he's not that much of a fan of. He did above average.
I can't stand him at right back. I'm sorry. It just really annoys me. I agree. We needed to become less predictable and more flexible from a tactical sense. Yeah, that I think we've both said it in a previous streams. Like we're going to be more like a Swiss Army knife. There's going to be multi-talented.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's kind of what we want, and that's what we need as well, because then we're not predictable. Teams can't just set up and go, "Oh, we do this." That stifled Arsenal for the whole game. It won't now. James, it was just getting found out we hadn't had replacements.
Yeah, he's covering. Yeah, no, that's true. We did. Yeah. But again, it's the same. It's the same outcome.
Yeah.
Even if we had only had one way of playing and we didn't have the replacements, we still only have one way of playing, you know. But we've addressed that.
Yeah. Luke's saying what I would say is the minute the opposition starts getting in our right hand side, I do think Arteta will quickly rectify it. Yeah, he is a puppet on a string. He just controls the whole formation, and yeah, he would quickly change anything in the formation if he saw a problem. You won't beat Havertz haters. I just ignore them. Yeah, I know. That's every fan base nowadays. They just stick with their opinion. They won't change it, and that's the way it is. I remember the fan base was split off the back of Odegaard's loan spell. That was half a season. Havertz needs time to find confidence with his newfound freedom. He's definitely getting better, and so is Declan, to be fair. Declan didn't start the greatest, but last night I thought it was outstanding. Yeah, absolutely outstanding last night. Eddie could have scored a hat-trick. People will still moan. If he does score a hat-trick, I can't see anyone moaning, but he could have got a brace last night, and that's why people are moaning, because he should have scored two. I think I said last night on my stream, I think he should have definitely got one. I think the first chance, I think if he did get his angle slightly improved, I think Sam would have saved it anyway. That was the only thing that could have happened with that ball, if I'm honest. Okay, mate. Let's move on to the next comment. They've all built up. Sorry. Martinelli wasn't happy when he came off, and that was good. Yeah, he was angry. And to be fair, good. I've got agenda. I want Party out. He's too slow. Havertz needs to play with more urgency. I think he's too often lacks intensity. I think that's just his style. To be fair,
it's a perception thing. It's a perception thing. If you see the number of presses he makes, the number of duels he's won, and the number of aerials he's won as well, you'll start to look. If you rewatch the game, or if the next game, if he plays against Fulham, I'm hoping he has a good game now. Watch him. Just focus your attention on him for 10 minutes, and you'll see a different perception. I'm not saying he's the best, and I'm not saying he should be there long term, but as a player, I feel like people don't, rate what he does because they're not focused on him because everyone was watching the ball. They're not focused on what he does outside of it. So
you're spot on. All the messing around at the back seems to have taken off the edge with attack, or is it just me? That's what Geeks is saying. What do you reckon?
Yes and no. I feel like it's more of an adjustment thing. We're sacrificing attacking potency, as I said, for more control of the game.
Yeah.
Last season, we were gung-ho from minute 1 to minute 90, trying to create as many chances as we could. And I feel like that has had a mental and mainly physical impact later on in the season. You saw it. We had the injuries and we were just exhausted. So I'm more than happy to sacrifice intensity a little bit now and get 3 or 4 good chances and win the game than, concede 2 and score 4. Maybe that's just the way I am. I'm more of pragmatist than I am less so of a who was the Bielsa at Leeds.
Yeah.
I'm less of a his philosophy or more of a that kind of pragmatistic stuff.
Rice could do that Stones role easily, says Luke. But Arteta is getting mad. Why Party in right back, play Party, Rice, Odegaard in middle. Havertz should be starting on the bench. That formation will happen in certain games. We are not going to have the same formation every single game now. I guarantee it. Like last season, everyone could have predicted our first 11. Fully fit, everyone could have predicted it. And to be fair, because I did most of the previews, the whole of the Armoury family pretty much chose the same 11 as well. But this season, we've had 2 previews. I've had 10 lineups in the first game. I've had 9 in the second. So far, so good. It's little tweaks everyone's making, little tweaks. Everyone wants this specific player, that specific player. And that is what I want. I want people to turn up to the Emirates, not know the starting 11 until it's actually announced. I think we will have Party, Rice, Odegaard in middle at some point. I don't want to see Partey at right back again, if I'm honest. But I think James will probably agree, we might see it again at some point in the season, depending on who we play against.
What is that? Partey at right back or Partey?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Partey at
we
right
will.
back. Yeah.
We will. No, again, it's just a thing. I feel like people need to. Still an adjustment period for me as well. So the fans aren't alone in this. You guys in the comments aren't alone in this, and as well as I feel like it's an adjustment period. We're not used to having such a good squad full of that many players where we can chop and change things and expect to win. I feel like a season of it, then you will become, oh, okay, he's playing Havertz in goal. Fair enough. We're not going to question it, right? I'm being facetious here, and I'm,
well,
over the
quite
top.
clearly, because I would literally drop the screen
the top,
down.
right? But
Yeah.
it's more. I'm just emphasizing my point of we need to be comfortable with players playing in different positions and trusting the manager that got us into a title race and got us this far, and trust that him and the coaching staff know what he's doing. So I'm not too fussed.
Yeah, exactly. I prefer Partey in midfield. Just how they have shuffled the pack to accommodate Havertz feels like we have a few square pegs in round holes. I don't think we've done it to accommodate Havertz, in my opinion. Do you think that? I don't.
I don't think we're accommodating anyone. I feel like it's just a change of system to improve, as I've said, to get to where we want to go. And it looks awkward, as Geek said, more of a square pegs in round holes, because he's not used to playing the system. He's been here for less than 2 months, and he's played 3 competitive games. If you're counting the Community Shield, which I am. I just feel like we're judging too quickly. We can have a discussion about it, but I feel like people are one side of the coin. It's Havertz is good or Havertz is shit. There's not much in between.
There is. That's pretty much it. Yeah, that's the Arsenal fan base. To be fair, it's either great or he's shit. Yeah. I hope we don't play Partey at right back versus Rashford and Grealish, mate. If that happens, I'm not doing the watch long. Simple as that. I'm turning it off.
I can agree, but then again, you'll say the same thing about Zinchenko playing against Salah. And that was all right, wasn't it? No, it has. It has happened.
Yeah, but. Yeah,
I'm in agreement. I wouldn't play him, but it depends on who you have around. So I wouldn't be. Yeah.
If Arteta remain with this madness, we shall not win anything, says Pierre Frank Badro. I think just have a bit of faith. That's what I'm doing. I'm having a bit of faith. Look, 2 games, 2 wins. Only 3 clubs have actually got 2 wins so far this season. So it's not a bad thing, if I'm honest. A win's a win. I was very pleased we held on for the win on Monday night at Sellers. Plus, the bench looked strongest for a long time, even without Timber and Hezers. Yeah, a lot of people comment on how strong our bench was. And it hasn't been that strong for a very long time. And there's a lot of players, as you said, Timber and Hezers, aren't even available yet. The second chance, he tried to be too cocky. Yes.
Yeah,
for
I
me,
didn't like that finish.
No, I didn't like that at all. That was the only one that I think he should have put away. The first one, I think, to be fair, that's the best he could have done.
Yeah, he did everything right. It was just the rub of the green. The ball didn't spin in. Just unlucky.
I'm getting to know that Arteta is not a coach.
You are correct. He is a manager.
He's a manager, and he's got extremely very good coaches around him. Albert, Carlos, Inaki, Nicolas. All fantastic coaches, and they all have a say. They all do their own little thing as well, and then they'll put it to Mikel, and they'll get a plan together, and it does work. We've got two of the youngest, best Spanish coaches at Arsenal Football Club, and they're not talking about Arteta either. So, look, I have faith. I have faith in it. Havertz would beat me in a sprint, and that's good enough. Says Tony.
I like those standards. Havertz would absolutely beat me in a sprint as well, so he's the best player on the planet.
I watched him intently at the Emirates against Forest, said Luke.
How did you think of him then, Luke?
Yeah, there you go.
Did you think he was, maybe it's his appearance for lack of intensity, or do you think it's just because he lacks intensity? I could be wrong. I mean, I'm open to hearing opinions. So,
yeah. I've just seen Paul Tierney is the ref for the Fulham game on Saturday. No matter who the ref was, you'd be unhappy. I guarantee you.
Could be worse. Could be Kieran.
You're not getting a striker, and you're not selecting a better team.
Yeah, you're probably right. We aren't getting a striker, but selecting a better team, we will get there when Jesus comes back and Zinchenko's in again.
Yeah,
So,
look, Jesus is only out. He should be back the end of September, so he's not that far away. We've got an international break coming up. I think that's after the Man United game, isn't it? We've got an international break, so that's 2 weeks off, or 10 days off, something like that. So yeah, I'm not too worried if I'm honest. The silver one ended up with 9 players. Keegan at Newcastle for us, a lot older. Example for gung ho football. Yeah, I know Tony hates us. Why can't we get Lukaku on loan?
just like what is it? Arteta isn't a coach. I am now learning you are a comedian.
Yeah, there you go. If we drop Rice, we will go down in intensity.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Rice is probably one of those players you won't see out of the team.
Yeah, well, I'm not trying to jinx anything, touch wood, but you see the amount of minutes and games he's played over the past 3 years. He's like Saka. He just plays.
Yeah, he does. There's 21 in the chat, only 3 likes. Come on, hit the likes. I think there is actually a problem with YouTube as well with the likes. So please do try and keep hitting the button, but I think there is a problem with YouTube today. We've already won the English Super Cup. We have. Look, it is a Super Cup for me. So I'm happy. 6 point out of 6. I think we should have 7. Yeah. Support to Arteta is becoming a problem because we had a small squad and Arteta was selecting the team very well. But now, no.
Again, it goes back to us having limited options and getting found out. I'd rather have too many options and not get found out.
Yeah. Right. Before we get the player ratings, I was quickly doing Luke's. So Luke's saying here, I think off the ball, I can see his effectiveness, like his pressing and elite runs. He obviously a very tidy, technically gifted player. It's just on the ball, I find him to be lacking intensity.
And that's fair enough. And I share the same sentiment. I just feel like the on the ball stuff will come with time. I think it's just an adjustment. I genuinely think it's an adjustment thing.
Okay. Right. Ratings for the game yesterday. So Ramsdale, well for you, what are you rating yourself? So
7.
you can't give yourself a 10. Oh
no,
okay,
I give myself a 7. He didn't really have much to do.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't have much to do. And then when he had to go long, because we had to survive with 10 men for 30 minutes. So yeah, I'll just give him a 7. He didn't have to make that many saves that I can recall.
No, not really. Party.
I'll give him an 8. I thought he was good. I know you're going to hate me for that, but I thought he was good. I thought, based off of the first 65 minutes, I thought he was really good.
Okay. Robo 7, Ramsdale 6. Looked like Flappy Bird at times. Tony saying Ramsdale 7, Party 6.
Didn't like Party. I'm guessing you're in agreement. You're going to give Party a -5.
I don't do the ratings. I leave it to whoever's on the show. I choose not to. Ben White, what are you going to rate him?
I'll give him an 8 as well. I thought he was really, really, really good.
Yeah,
I thought he was really good.
Saliba.
Give him a 9.
Yeah.
He's unreal. The only mistake he made, he recovered from.
Yeah. Party 8 out of position 8. Tommy, what are you going to give him a rating?
I'll give him a 6. Not because of the cards, and that's not taking into my account for his rating. I just didn't think he had a good game. Okay. I didn't think he had a good game, and I wasn't happy with how he was playing. If I'm honest.
Okay. Declan.
10.
Okay. Odegaard.
I don't think I need to say any more. He was unreal. I'll give him an 8. He had a quiet game. I mean, he was recycling play, and there was a few times when he nuked it out of the stadium, but he did okay.
Tommy was a 10, but took off.
Yeah, fair enough. We got to the same consensus.
Tommy, lowest 5, made AU look good. To be honest, and I will say this about AU, every time he plays us, he looks good. It doesn't matter who he's against.
There was a podcast I was listening to as well, and he looks good in the home fixture because we always play Palace at home at the very
Yeah,
beginning of the year. So
yeah,
him being a 34 now, he has fresh legs for about a month, and then when he comes to the Emirates, he just looks worn out and looks like he should be
yeah.
retiring. And that when
It's
I heard that, that made me laugh because he does look good every time we play them.
it's annoying because he's awful
Yeah.
player. I can't stand him. But every time he plays us, my word, does he have a worldie? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel that 6 for Tom is a bit harsh, but it's your scoring, mate, not mine. AU plus Arsenal equals Ronaldo. Yeah, to be honest, I heard that's not the first time someone said this about he looked like Neymar. He does. He looks really good every time he plays this. It's annoying. Right, let's go on to Kai. What's your score for Kai?
I'll give him a 7, which I think is reasonable.
Okay, Saka.
Again, 7. I didn't think he had that much of a good game. He wasn't as his usual self, I don't think.
No, I think Tyreek.
Yeah, he did. Plus, I wanted Saka to take Tyreek on more. He didn't seem to want to go down the wing, and every time he did take him on, he seemed to have him beat. He just refused to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a tactical thing, but I just didn't think he had a good game.
Okay, Martinelli.
Again, 7. I just didn't think he was that involved. I mean, he was coming around and switching play. I'll give him a 7 as well because I feel like he should have scored that goal. When he had that attempt in 2 minutes, you've got to be burying that. So, yeah.
Okay, and Eddie.
I'll give Eddie an 8. Outside of the finishing, I thought Eddie was very good. And what I liked about Eddie is he's not really been stifling us forward-wise. The biggest thing I had with Eddie last season is when we played Ellie, fucking hell. When we played Eddie, he looked really bad with Martinelli. You see how Jesus drops inside and Ellie, now I'm taking the piss, Eddie always would drift into the same areas that Martinelli was. And Martinelli likes to run inside and cause damage, right?
Yeah.
He didn't do that this game, which was surprising. And we didn't really stunt, I think, going forward-wise, us because of him. So I got confused as well because Temmie said Nelly. So as soon as I read it and I said Ellie.
Right, so Tony going for Gabby 7, Eddie 9, Saka 7. Quiet game, says Temmie for Saka. Saka was a 6 for Geeks. Tony was bound to do Havertz 10. Saka 6, Martinelli 7, Eddie 7. Nelly from Tammy gets a 6. 7 for Eddie. Martinelli would be a 6 for me. Eddie was a 7, says Geeks. And we signed an Ellie. Who's Ellie? No wonder James has been
yeah.
Right, let's move on to the substitutions. Obviously, Gabriel came on for Martinelli after Tommy got sent off. So what are you going to rate Gabriel's 20-minute?
7. I gave him a 7. He came on and did what he needed to
do. Fair enough. Jorginho then came on for Eddie, so he had just over 11 minutes.
Yeah, I'll give him a 6. He didn't really have much to do. He just sat in front of the back four.
Fair enough. Kivior for Saka, obviously hardly any time, so we're not going to.
I'll just give him a 5. He wasn't on the pitch long enough.
And then Zinchenko for Odegaard.
5.5 for the 2-minute cameo he had, where they just kept the ball.
I did think that was one of Eddie's better performances. I'd give him a 7. Had he scored, I'd give him an 8 or a 9. I'm the same on 7 for Eddie. I didn't think he was brilliant, but yeah, he was one of his better games. But he has to continuously do this. He can't. And the other thing is when he is going to be dropped, and he will be dropped at some point, he's then got to come in just how he left, if that makes sense. He can't have this, I need a 3 or 4 games to get back into, no, sorry. You get dropped, you then come back in the way you got dropped. Simple as that for me. Because he cannot have a drop-off. Gabriel 7, Jorginho 8, Zingy 7. Oh, I love it. But yeah, so we move on to Fulham this Saturday. We can't do a watch long because obviously it's a 3 o'clock kickoff. But what we are going to try and do is a live score update. So it'll be the video printer for anyone that's seen my watch longs now. I have a live video printer. I have the live score with the live timings as well on it. So I'm going to do that Saturday. So you will be able to keep it up to date with the game. I will be here. I'll be talking about other games that are happening as well. To be honest, I don't know who else is playing at 3 o'clock either, so it could be an interesting one. But the preview for the Fulham game will be Friday night, and the next Arsenal news, because I'm doing the preview on the Friday, I'm going to move it to the Saturday, because it also ties in with the fact that the window finishes on the Friday night, on the 1st, I think. If I'm right in saying that, aren't I? It's Friday the 1st. It finishes.
Maybe? Yeah, I think so. I think it is.
So the Arsenal news will fit in very well, because obviously the news will then cover whatever happened on transfer deadline day. Where, mate, Tony, I've got my own video printer. It's actually pretty decent, if I'm honest. It has football from all over Europe. It has Polish teams, it has Scandinavian teams. It's quite entertaining sometimes, apart from when someone says, "What team is that?" and I have to try and pronounce it. But yeah, it's quite fun, to be fair. I'm almost predicting a record-making 12-1 win against for the Bet Your Life savers on it. I miss telesex. Look, the Fulham game is going to be interesting, because Fulham, in my opinion, weird thing that happened today. I spoke to my postman. Postman is a Wolves fan. And because my Arsenal shirt came today, obviously it comes in an Arsenal bag. So there he was, dangling like he's got a bag of poo in his hand. And I always talk football about him because he's a Wolves fan. And he was saying that Fulham is one of his favourites to go down. And I thought, oh, you know what? That's quite a good shout, because without Mitrovic, that team is extremely different, and not in a good way. I can see him struggling. Can you see him struggling, Fulham, this season now?
Depends who they sign. If they sign another striker, Koff, an American, Koff also plays in London. Koff is available for 50 million. Don't know who that is. I left that very vague. Kidding. I think they'll do okay. If they don't replace Mitrovic efficiently, then I can see it going this sour. So they have a week to fix it. Put it this way, if they don't sign anyone now and they're relying on Jimenez, I can see them going down.
Okay.
But if they do, then I think they'll be okay.
Felt that Jimenez was the Mitrovic replacement.
I didn't think so, because it looked like Mitrovic was going to stay.
No, I've always known that Mitrovic was going. But we'll wait and see. Look, I think there's going to be a lot of action from all the teams, not just us, but every single team well, maybe not necessarily Wolves. They might sign a couple of players on loan, but that's about it. But yeah, I think there's going to be so much happening over the next, I don't know how many days it is, 10, 11 days. The 3 o'clock kickoffs are Arsenal versus Fulham, Brentford versus Crystal Palace, Everton versus Wolves. Oh, Man United versus Forest. Oh, okay, that could entertain me. Yeah, because Man United look awful. And it is pretty much a relegation 6-pointer between Everton and Wolves as well. So, yeah, make sure to ask Bobby about the Polish teams. No, please don't. Because there was one the other day and I was like, what the heck is that word? It's a place and I have literally no idea. Would give them a whack as Mitrovic has gone. Not a bad slate of 3 p.m. Yeah, it's not bad, to be fair. James Balogun has played in the Championship before, so he will be okay. He didn't have that much time at Middlesbrough, and to be fair, he didn't impress me at Middlesbrough either, if I'm honest, which concerns me a little bit. That's the bit that I get concerned by. Yes, he did well at Reims, but he didn't do very well at Middlesbrough. That concerns me. But I do think there is a very good player in him, but he kind of needs to lose his attitude a tiny bit. Big up to James, and I suppose love you too, Colm. Jeez, my FTSM brother just comes in and just disses me like that. It's absolutely charming, isn't it? Rasmus is fit for Forest Gate. Oh, okay. So might actually look like scoring.
Yeah, he's a good player. I like him.
Yeah,
expensive, but I like him.
Yeah, it is expensive, but United look. And Colm, you're gonna agree with me because you did the watch along with me. They look awful.
Mount is apparently out, by the way. So yeah, advantage United.
Wait, I'll ask you that because I know your opinion on Mount. Who cares, Bobby? We've sold him. Yeah, true. Right.
Hmm?
Mount. Now, I'm
Yep.
pretty sure you wanted Mount.
Yep, I did. Ahead of Havertz.
I know. Are you sure?
Mm. Yep.
Are you still sure?
Yep.
So why do you think it's not working at United? Because it clearly isn't.
Because they're playing Bruno and how do you call it?
Casemiro.
Mount as double eights, and they're relying on Casemiro to cover the ground. And I mean this in full respect. Casemiro is a great CDM, but he can't cover ground as much. So when you pair him with 2 8s that are incredibly high, almost playing as 10s pretty much, and you try and ask him to defend on an island, it's not a good look.
Yeah.
So
but very true, very true. I just wanted your opinion because I know how much
I think Mount is a very, very good player. I just don't think he's in the right system. And no, Tony, I did not want Anthony. Anthony is a shit player, especially for 100 million. Yikes.
Okay, I will back Anthony up a little bit here because I'm an Ajax fan. So I do think there's talent in there, but he's not a Man United player. He's not a top 6 player in our league. But he's decent.
He was a £40 million player max
for me,
a top 10 side.
Yeah. Look, when because obviously I've watched Ajax for many years, there's levels to certain players. For me, the only person I think can leave Ajax and step into our squad or any other top 6 club is Kudu. Kudu is the only one for me at the moment. And Anthony was never a player I was like, oh, we must sign him. I've never mentioned it to any Arsenal fan. Oh, we must go and get Anthony because I never liked him. I thought he was all right, a bit flary, but that's about it. He was a Glenn Helder for me. Didn't excite me. Casemiro.
Sorry, I wasn't laughing at you. That's what I was laughing at. That comment is outrageous.
Anthony would have done well at Villa. That's about his level. And I'm not being horrible to Anthony, but that's about his level. Arteta wanted Mudryk. I'm worried about his talent. Mudryk is a whole different situation. I personally think that he needs to leave Chelsea, and he needs to be somewhere that he's happy. He's not happy there at all, and I think that he will flourish somewhere. He would flourish at Arsenal, in my opinion, but that's just me. Mount is shockingly bad at 2. Could get the numbers that he had in the first 2 games. Yeah, the first game against Wolves, anybody could have got the numbers that Mount got, to be fair. But it's just mad. Right, James. Now, I don't know if you heard what Elon Musk had done. Because he heard about your problem with saying Twitter, he changed it just for you.
I knew you were going to say this.
He changed it just to X.
Oh, yeah. I'll still find a way of messing that up as well. Don't ask me to pronounce it.
But, mate, thank you for coming on. Where can people find you?
Well, you can find me on here mispronouncing words all the time. And you can find me on... I almost said Twitter then. You can find me on... Wait. You can find me on that with the @James Armoury TV. So that's where you can find me.
Elon Musk tried his best to help James, and James still couldn't do it. I'll get Elon Musk to change it back. It's all good. Great show, Bobby and Ellie.
Cheers, dude. Appreciate it.
Cheers, geeks. Cheers, everybody that's watched. I will be back for definite on Friday night for the Fulham preview. Look, I could definitely say M. Because Emmy's my partner and Tony knows that's my partner's name. I'm not going to get involved in James's personal life. So
Tony's going to laugh. He's going to make the joke. First name Ellie, last name Fant.
But guys, I will be back Friday with a preview. I don't know who's going to be with me, but someone will be. Take care. See you later. Bye bye.